What's going on, everybody? This is your host, Sean Johnson, the creator of Benchminer Hockey, and welcome to episode number 14 of our Benchminer Hockey podcast. This is the hockey podcast that covers single A hockey news and stories from players and staff. And today's guest, Mr. Christian Whitcomb. How you doing, buddy?
Not too bad. Yourself?
Can't complain. So, that's the Fed for a weekend.
Yep, suck me back in.
But before that, I just want to talk about your career real quick. For those that may not,
Yeah.
you want to run through your kind of professional career a little bit?
Sure. So, I started off with Danville. I don't remember what the years were, but played with Danville for a season, and then I got injured around the halfway, three-quarter mark of the season. Came back for playoffs, and then over the summer I got a call saying that they were going to trade me to Watertown. Figured it'd be closer to home for me. You know, nobody knew what was going on with my injury. Healed up over the summer, had my surgery, was cleared to go back and play. So I went to Watertown for the following season. That's where I met you and all those guys. Went to Watertown. I was probably there for about another half the season, and then that's when I believe I went up to Birmingham in the SP. Stayed there short term, came back, was back with Watertown for some time, then went up to Knoxville in the SP, and then came back to Watertown for playoffs. And then the following year, I got a call from Coach Clark saying that he traded for me to come to Elmira and join him. So at that point, I was debating if I wanted to still play or just focus on my business. And started up by going to Knoxville to start that season. Things were short term there, came back and pretty much just commuted for Elmira. Played a few away games, mostly just home games because I could drive. You know, it's only 2.5 hour drive for me. Played there. I think it was like under 20 games. And then I just decided that just wasn't for me anymore. And I wanted to go on with my life and focus on my business and get rolling with that. So that's where I left off. And I think that was about 4 years ago now.
Hey, well, there's nothing wrong with that. I believe most of your career, I won't say most of your career, but most of the time you spent in the Fed, there were about 6 teams in the league, and now we're up to 10. I know you were just back for a weekend, but what are your thoughts on that? How the league is growing?
I think that's pretty cool. I was actually talking to a lot of the guys about that. It's crazy how much it's growing now, especially a lot of these teams down south. You know, it's always good to go play down there. The arenas, the arenas are getting bigger and bigger. The fan bases are getting bigger. So, I mean, that's really cool to see. You know, now you're not just playing the same teams over and over again. You got some variety in there. So that's really good to see.
Yeah, the way that the league is growing and like you said, the arenas are getting bigger, it kind of makes me fear for teams like Watertown and Delaware. Like obviously a team like Watertown is, they're the backbone of the Fed. They're one of the
Yeah.
oldest teams here. I would say Danville as well, but they're no longer part of the Fed anymore. But obviously I wish nothing but the best for every team, but
Yeah, of
just
course.
seeing these 3,000, 4,000 fans attending these games, and we got Watertown just hanging out at like 800. I don't know if they're gonna be able to survive. I hope they do, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, they've done pretty well all these years. You know, they did the renovations to the arena, so at least, it's still a nicer arena and whatnot. But that's actually what some of the guys from Port Huron was saying is that they needed to do some renovations there to keep up
Yeah,
now that we're getting all these larger, newer arenas coming in.
but they actually have started their renovations. I saw they put in like new suites there. I haven't, been there in person yet, but I did see they posted that they put some new suites in. So, good on
Yeah,
Port
that's what I
Huron.
heard.
And I
Yeah,
will
that's
just
good.
say this: when I was with Watertown and you were with Danville, I don't want to say that I hated you because that's a strong word, but you were one of those types of players. Like you knew how to get into the minds of your opponents, and you always made us draw a penalty. And I just want to know: did you do your homework when it comes to like your opponent? How did you get under their skin so easily all the time?
Um, I don't know. That's just the way that I just grew up playing, and
Hmm.
realize if I could use that to my advantage, and like you said, get them in the penalty box. Especially when you come into a league like this, a lot of guys know the guys that have been around, and who's the go-to guy and whatnot. And for instance, when I was on Danville and I come to Watertown, it's Jurich, Yates, all those guys. So
Mm-hmm.
find the name on the back of their jersey and just go do what you got to do and try to get them off their game. And make it work to your advantage.
Absolutely. I'm just saying, man. I was like, oh, we got to go to Danville, and I know that Whitcomb's there, and we all know how this is going to end. And then the news broke that you got traded to us, and I couldn't have been more happy. I was like, that's the type of player we need right there.
Yep, yeah. It's definitely fun and exciting. And I mean, half the guys that I played against that, we had these big rivalries and going back and forth. They end up being some, my best buddies. Jurich, Yates, them. I was like, I can't wait to meet these guys when I get to Watertown, and then, end up being super close to all of them. So
Right.
it's all part of the game.
Absolutely. And I know you're just mentioning a few of the players. Do you still keep in touch with everyone? Do you still keep tabs on the Fed and the SP at all?
Um, I don't really keep tabs on the league as much through social media. I'm on there, but not a lot. If I'm usually on like Facebook or something, it's usually something involving my business and whatnot.
Mhm.
But I mean, in touch with the guys, yeah. I mean, I talk to guys, from all the other teams that I've played on, and just stay in touch with them, see what they're doing. I travel a lot, so I'm all over the country, and anytime I'm around anybody, I'll try to reach out to them and see if they want to meet up and catch up, and so yeah, I stay in touch with people, so I get my word through them.
Right on. And I just want to ask you this because I know you're a former Danville guy. What are your thoughts about that team folding and then moving over to the SP? Now, I know there's a whole story, and I'm not going to get into that, but it wasn't on the Fed. It was kind of out of their control. But what are your
Yeah.
thoughts on Danville becoming an SP team?
Yeah, I've heard some things, not too much, so I don't really know the story on that either. But I mean, good for them. They got some renovations done to their arena. Now they're up in a higher league. Seems like they're doing pretty well. I mean, at first it obviously sucked for the Fed because now you're losing a team, but every
Mm-hmm.
year it's just growing and growing, and you're getting one or two teams joining. So they kind of replace them. But I would say it definitely sucks for all the long term Fed people that have seen them in the league for so long, and now they're gone. But it's good for them. At least they're they still have a team.
Yeah, absolutely. The one problem I have with Danville fans is I understand there were a lot of diehard Dasher fans. I definitely get that. But you would
Yeah.
think that you would still continue to support your hockey team. I know it's not in the Fed anymore, but I've heard a lot of things in Danville about Dasher fans not supporting the Bobcats, and I don't know. It's just kind of a mess there. But I hope that fans continue to support the team no matter what league they're in.
Yeah, of course.
And I believe you retired. Was it 2020? Like when COVID hit? Was that the
Yeah,
season
it
that you
was it was
retired?
right before it was before COVID hit, so I guess I got lucky with that and got out of there before all that mess. Um, but I can't remember if I made it into 2020 or not. I think it was like late 2019
Okay.
that I decided to hang them up. But yeah, I wasn't there too long. It was still early in the season when I decided to step away.
Okay. I probably should have done my homework. I was just kind of winging it here.
It was definitely the 1920 season, that's for sure. I don't remember exactly when it was that I walked away.
Gotcha. So what exactly made you walk away? Were you just like, I know you said you're focusing on your business. Was that the majority of the reason why you wanted to kind of hang it up?
Yeah, that was mostly it. At first it was fun, to just play the home games, drive out there, stay the weekend, come back. But then after a while, it was kind of getting old. The same drive over and over again.
Hmm.
Um, the business was growing, so I had a lot more jobs that I was taking on, and with having to be away every weekend for hockey, I wasn't getting as much done as I would have liked to, and I just figured I'm like, you know what, I've played long enough in my life. I've established a ton of friendships from guys all over the world from this league. I'm like, I've done a lot more than what most people can say they've done with their career. So I was
Hmm.
just like, it's time to move forward and focus with the business. Give some of these other guys a shot. That are there for the whole season. I'm coming just playing weekends, kind of taking a spot away. So I'm like, give those guys a shot. I'm gonna go do my thing, and just kind of left it like that.
Right. No, I hear you. And for those that don't know, what do you do for a living? What's your business?
I do home improvement and interior design. So majority of my work is kitchen and bathroom remodels, a lot of tile work. So definitely staying busy with all that.
Right. And what's the name of it so people can look it up and get a job out of you?
It's TNT Design and Home Improvement. So if you're around the Buffalo, New York area, you can find me there.
You got a website?
I don't have a website, but I'm on Facebook and Instagram. I have a gallery of all my work and everything on there and contact information.
All right, I'm gonna get that information and put that in the description below. So check that out. You need any remodeling done for Mr. Christian Whitcomb, you know where to go.
Perfect.
Besides,
Appreciate it.
no problem, buddy. Besides working all the time, what are some of your hobbies?
Um, like I said, I like to travel. Do it when you're young. You never know when your day's gonna come. So, do everything while you can. I try to go everywhere possible. Mainly, I have a side by side. If anyone's not familiar with that, it's basically a four wheeler with a roll cage and doors, steering wheel, and two or four seats, so you could fit some passengers with you. Um, so me, my buddies, some of my cousins will just go all over the country, take those, and ride trails everywhere, and just have a good time with those.
So you just put a side by side on like a trailer and just tow it around the country and go ride in on different trails?
Yeah, it depends where it is. If it's somewhere close within a few hours, I'll just put it on my own trailer. We'll all drive separate and meet up there. But if it's somewhere further, like the beginning of this 2022, we stayed in Las Vegas and then we rode out in the sand dunes out in California. I
Oh
believe they're the
wow.
biggest sand dunes in the whole United States. So with that, we actually had to get a big 50-foot gooseneck trailer and put four of our side by sides on that and then towed those and made our way all the way out west.
That's crazy. I don't know if this is related or not, but do you guys like go mudding at all with those, or is it just strictly like trails?
Yeah, it everywhere you go, they got different terrain. So sometimes you'll go like down in Tennessee was a lot of mountains, so that's a lot of rock climbing and technical stuff.
Hmm.
Up here around New York, you're more in the woods, trail riding. So where you're not getting sunlight, you tend to get some real muddy, wet spots. So that's usually where we get our muddiest, and you get some big mud holes. And then when you go out west, you're mostly in the desert and the canyons. So that's a lot of
Right.
sand and just open, flat dirt trails that you can really get some speed on.
Oh, that sounds really cool. I know my dad is like huge into four wheelers and riding, and he was telling me about this event that's going on. Like I'm in North Carolina right now, and my dad was telling
Yeah,
me about this. I don't know, some big like mudding event with wheelers and side by sides, and he's like, I want to bring. He's a big Can-Am guy, so he wants to
yeah.
bring his Can-Am down here and go to that. But I don't know. That's somewhere east North Carolina over there somewhere. I can't remember the town
Oh
name. I have
yeah,
to look it up.
yeah. They definitely got a lot of that stuff down there. I see it all over social media.
Oh yeah, and what was I going to tell you? Oh, I wanted to ask you about this. Now this is kind of a sensitive subject, but I know you're a Buffalo guy, Buffalo native. I just want to
Yep.
ask about when the news broke with the Damar Hamlin situation. Now I'm not going to get into that real thick here, but it essentially rocked the entire country.
Oh yeah.
And I just kind of want to know, like, what was Buffalo like when that happened, or throughout the past week or two?
It was pretty crazy. That's all you've seen all over social media. It's all you've seen. You would go out to the grocery store, out for dinner, and you would just have everybody with their Bills gear on. Especially with everybody making, the number three
Hmm.
shirts and jerseys and all that kind of stuff. People with signs out in their yards. A big thing is a lot of the neighborhoods. Once one person does it, everybody else will tag along. So you got all the
Right.
houses with the blue and the red lights going. And that's all that everybody talks about. You just go out and everybody's like, oh my God, can you believe this? Can you believe that? Um, Especially for Buffalo, it's been tough the last few weeks. We just got pounded
Hmm.
with that blizzard. So, everybody's holidays were pretty ruined with that. And
Hmm.
unfortunately, there was a lot of fatalities from that and everything. So it's definitely been pretty crazy here in Buffalo these last few weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, besides the Damar Hamlin story, just in general, you guys have got the shitty end of the stick this past year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's been crazy.
But I will say, whenever it comes to like a tragedy in Western New York, Bill's Mafia, man, there's no like Bill's Mafia.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely different. And they're always, as soon as something happens, right away, somebody's donating to some charity or, starting some fundraiser for it. Even if it's an opposing player, whatever the case is, that's what they do.
Yeah, I remember. I don't know if you remember this, but a few seasons ago, I think the Bills needed Cincinnati to win to get to the playoffs, and then they just showered Andy Dalton with like tons of chicken wings or something. Remember that story?
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
All right,
Oh
getting
yeah.
away from the whole football thing, I'll get back to hockey here. Uh,
Yep.
Last week you signed with the Portham Prowlers for a weekend, and what kind of made you decide to sign with them?
Um. So really, they reached out to me earlier in the week and mentioned that they are going to be short for the weekend. Had a lot of injuries. A couple guys called up, and I guess they had a pretty rough stretch of road games lately.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they mentioned that they were going to be short. They might need a guy, and they would keep me updated throughout the week. And I told them, I'm like, yeah, I'd be interested. Just depends on my work schedule. I'm in the middle of two big jobs right now, and had a few estimates lined up and whatnot. So really didn't hear much of it. And then Friday later morning, they reached out again and said, "Hey, we really need somebody. Do you think you can make it?" So I just told them, like, give me some time. Let me see if I can rearrange some things on my end, and I'll try to get out there. So made some calls, got my schedule switched around, and they sent me over a contract, and I signed and hit the road and met them out there. But I just figured it was the perfect opportunity to do it. You know, see a lot of the guys, knew some guys on Port Huron,
Mm-hmm.
knew a lot of the guys on Binghamton. And if there was a place to do it, the new arena, Binghamton, I seen it
Mm-hmm.
all over social media. It seemed like a great place. So like, this is the one opportunity to do it. It's now. So like, why not go have some fun?
Yep. I think the fans voted Binghamton as the best arena. The players voted Binghamton as the best arena. So why not?
Yeah, it was definitely really cool. Everything was really nice there. Nice arena. Fans were pretty crazy, especially that Friday night game. So it
Mm-hmm.
was a good time.
Did you get to meet up with any of the opposing players in Binghamton? Go out to dinner, drinks, anything like that?
Yeah, yeah. I met some of them, by the Zamboni after, talked to them for a little bit out in the parking lot. And then some of the guys went out after, got some food, had a couple of drinks, and just caught up. It's been a long time, 4 years almost. So
Yeah,
definitely needed
absolutely.
that.
So you may have not gotten on the score sheet, but you did walk away with 16 penalty minutes. How did it feel to get back out there and cause a little bit of chaos?
Yeah, that was fun. Everybody on Port Huron was like, it was definitely nice playing with you rather than against you. Um, but yeah, everybody was, Witter, go out there, be yourself. You're gonna fight, you're gonna this, and I'm like, I'll stir the pot a little bit, but not like I used to. I'm like, I got to get back home Sunday, and I got to get back to work and get back to my life, so I can't be hurting myself. So yeah, I mean, a little scrappy, but not too much,
I was gonna say it's nice to see you without a black and blue mark on your face.
right? Or all my teeth.
Hardly recognized you.
I know.
So you were with Port Huron on Friday. You guys got your dicks kicked in, 13-2. Then you guys responded on Saturday with a 6-5 win. Now, what was the message after Friday's game heading into Saturday?
Pretty much the main thing was just play the system that they had in the locker room. They were saying that we've been, stirring away from that. Um, we don't follow the system. Obviously, things like Friday night are going to happen. Also, like I said, they kind of had a rough week of some tough road games lately, short guys. I mean, but that's no excuse. You got to come out and be prepared. Um, so yeah, pretty much just play the system, change some things up with our pregame and our pregame warm ups to kind of get the legs going right away. They said that they've been struggling in the first period a lot, and then they tend to come out harder in the second and third. So they really wanted to focus on getting a good start, get that first period out of the way, and go from there. Which seems like that was the case, and
Yeah,
they came back, which made it a good game. But we were able to hang on and get the win, so they got 3 points out of it. So everything worked out in the end.
absolutely. Now, any? I know you said you have your business going on. Just to hear from the horse's mouth, are there any plans to return to professional hockey full time?
I would say no.
No,
I just got too much going on with life. I got bills and everything now. I
that's right.
just purchased some property with my girlfriend, and I'm gonna be building us a house on there within the next couple of years. So those are definitely gonna be some big expenses. So don't think I'll be able to step away and start playing hockey full time any longer.
Right. Well, congratulations on that. That's a huge step.
Yeah, thank you.
And that's there in Buffalo, your land?
Yeah, it's in Buffalo. It's actually in Akron, New York, so it's a little bit more out in rural. So we got about 8 acres of land. Um, no neighbors on the one side, and behind us, it actually butts up to a nature preserve, so nobody
Mhm.
can ever build or put anything back there. So be nice and secluded. Build our dream barndominium on there, and yeah,
Sounds like you got it made there then.
yeah, it's going pretty good. So that's all exciting. It's definitely, a learning process. Now I got a mortgage and, going through all this stuff to be able to go out there and build a house for yourself. But, it's a journey,
Sucks, doesn't it?
right? Yeah. Wish I could just, sit around and, go somewhere and play
Mhm.
hockey forever. But that's not the case anymore. I decided to go a different route and that's my life now.
No, I
But I'm
hear you,
not
buddy.
complaining. I love every minute of it.
Right. Everything happens for a reason. And so
Yep.
you heard it here first. Christian is not returning full time. Sad emoji. However, celebrity appearances. Are you going to make any more this season, next season, in the future?
I don't have any plans. I guess we'll just see what happens. If a team reaches out and needs a guy again and happens to be a close location, like one of the New York teams, you got Watertown, you got Elmira, you got Binghamton now, so that's three locations. Um, so I mean, yeah, if somebody reaches out and it's one of those locations, and I could just drive and meet them there, then I wouldn't be opposed to it. I had a really fun time. Like I said, it was good to be out there, all the fans, the arena, especially see all the guys again. But it'll all depend how my schedule plays out. So wouldn't be opposed to it, but at the moment, I don't have anything planned.
All right. And we're running short on time here. I know you got a game to get to tonight. Are you
I do.
playing tonight or are you attending?
No, I'm playing just back at home at the Harbor Center. I signed up and I'm just playing some bar league there. So we play every Monday night.
What's your team name? Anything creative?
It is the Moose Knuckles.
Okay. Okay. You got to get me a moose
Yeah,
knuckle jersey.
yeah, of course.
I'll be wearing that in the next podcast.
Yeah, yeah. Took some time off. I wasn't playing anywhere actually. I for the last 3 years I didn't touch the ice. I didn't touch a puck. Nothing. And then my cousin and some of his neighbors and whatnot, they've been in the league and had the team. So they lost a few guys for the season. And I was like, you know what? I'm like, why not? I'll go out and play late Monday nights. I'm done with work and everything. So just didn't start skating until just a couple months ago, which I guess worked out because at least I was on the ice somewhat before
Mhm.
going up there to Binghamton.
So before I let you go, let me ask you this: um, How did you just give it up? Like, I don't know if that makes sense or not, but some people kind of struggle with the whole like, oh, it's time to hang it up. How did you just kind of be like, it's time, then just wait 3 years and then?
Um, I think my mind was just so set on moving forward with life and just getting my business, going to a good point, where I get my name and reputation out there and it's smooth sailing. And then also, it was easy to not play back home because as soon as I retired, I played one pickup game at the Harbor Center, and somebody actually came across and whacked me right in the mouth with their stick and knocked out six of my teeth, broke my jaw up into my orbital bone,
Oh,
and I
yikes!
had to have my jaw wired for 8 weeks. I had to go. It was a over a year long process because I had to heal up, get the wire removed, get my implants put in. So now I got all fake teeth. Um, and that was definitely no fun. So from that point, I'm like, it's not worth it. I'm
Yeah.
done. I'm not playing. Just never got the itch for that again. Until, like I said, just a few months ago, I started giving it a shot again. But yeah, so that part definitely made it pretty easy. All the years of playing, like you said, not many people liked me. Got into a lot of scrums, a lot of fights. Took a fair shot of blows to the face, and nothing ever happened. And
Hmm.
then I play one pickup game, and something like that happens, and that was not a pleasant injury.
It's the way it rolls sometimes, unfortunately.
Yep, that's hockey for you.
Absolutely. So just a couple closing remarks here. If you are following along on Apple Podcasts, make sure to hit that follow button. If you're following along on the video podcast on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Christian, anything else you would like to say to FHL back when you were here, FPHL fans or SPHL fans watching on Bench Minor?
Yeah, no, you guys are great. The fans were always amazing, especially now with those bigger rinks. The turnouts are just awesome. Even some of the fans from previous teams like Elmira, they were there. So we can at Binghamton, oh, there's Whitcomb, and came up and talked to me after. So no, the fans are awesome, and miss all you guys, and thank you for everything, and thanks for having me, and especially you with your podcast. I wish you luck. Keep growing, keep doing what you're doing, and just keep rolling with it.
Appreciate it, buddy. I know you said you travel a lot, so if you're in North Carolina, let me know. I'm near the Charlotte area. As you know, I'm also a New Yorker though, so I go home to visit usually twice a year. I got a daughter now. I don't know if you knew that or not,
Yep.
but got a daughter.
Yeah.
So
Congratulations.
thank you. We make sure that we're going to go to New York to visit a couple times a year, so she can see cousins and grandparents and stuff like that.
Yeah, of
So
course.
we'll keep in touch. Again, send me your business information so I can put that down below, and we will chat with you again soon.
Yeah, we'll do it. Sounds good. Thank you for having me. I appreciate
Nope,
it.
no problem at all, buddy.